Hey guys, Adam here. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Galaxy Fold after basically 1.5 weeks or so. Basically 2 weeks. And so I really thought that I was going to like this phone because it's such a cool phone, right? It's folding, it's really cool, it's awesome, right? It's really cool, right? But not so much. See, it's not exactly the problem with durability, even though that's obviously like one of the cases why I don't like it as much, but actually the main reason is because I'll say I would say the three main reasons is the no high refresh rate display. I didn't think that was going to affect me that much, but it did after a certain amount of time. The second thing was durability, even though I said it wasn't that big of a deal. And then the third thing is that I do not like One UI software. I just don't. I hate One UI software. I don't like One UI software. I've never liked One UI software. I don't know why I thought I was going to get used to it, but I guess I thought I was going to. And also some other things. I wasn't, even though the screens are like the bigger screen's really cool, right? But to be honest, it's not that big of a difference between my OnePlus 7 Pro screen, and I would much rather have a high refresh rate screen than just a folding screen. And the outside screen is basically completely useless. I mean, it's really, really, really close to useless. I mean, there is some stuff that might be useful. Besides that, it's basically useless. Lots of apps don't support things like Instagram that I use every day. YouTube's not that great because basically it's the same size as a phone screen. And yeah, so in my opinion, I'm just not really liking this phone. And I'm actually planning to sell it very soon. And you might be like, "What? Adam, what are you doing? What is your problem?" It's not that it's a bad phone. It's just that it's not the phone for me, if that makes sense. I bet it's a great phone for some people. And there were some things that I thought that were going to be good that aren't as good, such as the camera. The camera I thought was going to be great. But to be honest, it's actually worse than my OnePlus 7 Pro. It's actually worse than my OnePlus 7 Pro. It's not as sharp, it's not as detailed, it does worse in low light. And also the telephoto camera is really bad. I mean, it's not great. And it's over sharpened like crazy with Samsung software. It's terrible. So even though I do like this phone, I'm not saying that I hate this phone. It's not great. It's not the phone for me. Now, here's some things that was above my expectations. There are some things that I do like. First of all, the hinge is really good. I do like the hinge. The hinge is really great, and that's one of the most satisfying things about this phone. It's like one of the best things about this phone. Probably one of the best things. It's really good. Second of all, performance is good. I mean, Call of Duty is great, I guess. It seems to be about this, maybe a little bit better performance even than the OnePlus 7 Pro in some games. And the battery was really surprising. Standby time is amazing. Even like this, like the screen here, like the battery is awesome. Seriously. Like, this is probably the best battery phone that I've had. This is really, really, really good battery. This lasts me 2, 3, maybe even 4 days if I just barely even use it. But seriously, I mean, this is really, really good battery. But there's some things that I don't really like. I mean, like I was saying, the screen, you could actually see that there's some rainbowing going on. You can kind of see it right there. Even you could see it through the camera almost. I would say that the screen brightness isn't that bright. Like, sure, it's bright, but it's not that bright. It's definitely not as bright as the OnePlus 7 Pro. That's what I'm saying. It's definitely not as bright as the OnePlus 7 Pro any means. Like, it's really, it's fine for, like, you know, normal use and stuff like that, but once you're outside, it's really not that great. But the design is good. The design, like, it feels comfortable in the hand. The case, I don't really like. I'm not a big fan of it, but still, it's just a case, so it's not really that big of a deal. I could take it off if I really want to. But it's fine. I mean, it's just a regular case that I bought for like $14, so not that big of a deal. But it's just not that great. I mean, it was fine. It was actually really good for the first 3 days. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to sell my OnePlus 7 Pro, right? I go back to my OnePlus 7 Pro. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to reset everything and stuff like that. Before I reset it, I just feel the 90 hertz, and I'm like, actually, this isn't that bad. And then I start using it for like 2, 3, 4 hours, and then I forget to use this. It's just because I like it so much more. I mean, I'll say, if you like Samsung software, like if you like One UI, then this is a great phone. This is a really good phone. But it's just not the phone for me. I don't like Samsung software. I hate it. I love Oxygen OS software. That was awesome. Like, that's why I'm probably going to be keeping the OnePlus 7 Pro, or I'll be switching to another OnePlus phone, or maybe a Xiaomi phone, just because it seems like their software is definitely getting better. I would say that their software is definitely getting better, and I was considering switching to the Redmi K30 Ultra because it's basically a OnePlus 8T with, except maybe the camera's a little bit worse, but still, it's basically like a OnePlus 8T, so I was considering that, and it is about the same price as the OnePlus 7 Pro. I was also considering the OnePlus 7T Pro. So this is actually kind of going to be my final review of the Galaxy Fold. I really thought that I would like this phone. I really thought that I would. But, I mean, it's always good to, experiment to see how phones are. I mean, this was my first ever folding phone, and my experience with it, not great. I probably won't get a Samsung One UI phone ever again, just because it's just because, like, I just like more stock software. I really don't like Samsung software. I can't stand it. It's really, really, really bad. I know lots of you guys probably on YouTube love Samsung's One UI. I just hate it. I love Oxygen OS. I don't like Google's Pixel OS, which is interesting. I really like Oxygen OS though. Now, yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to live with this phone for like the next month, or even a couple of months. Seriously, it's not that great. It's a good phone. It's a good phone, but not for me. A couple more things that I do want to mention though. The speakers are way better. I mean, not way better, but better than my OnePlus 7 Pro. But that's not really that big of a deal. And the front-facing cameras are better, I guess, I would say. Though, what I would say is, once again, it feels soft compared to the OnePlus 7 Pros. It feels like there's a wider aperture with the OnePlus 7 Pro. Like, it gives it more of a DSLR effect compared to the Galaxy. So, overall, what's my conclusion? My conclusion is I'm probably not going to get another Samsung Galaxy phone. I probably won't get another Galaxy Fold phone. I may get a Motorola Razr. However, I'm not a big fan of Motorola's software. I have tried it before. It's fine, but it's not great. Like, it's fine, but it's not that great just because, I don't know. I just really like Oxygen OS software. I really like Xiaomi's software so far. I really like, I'm okay with Google Pixel software. I'm okay with Motorola software. Probably right now, my least favorite operating systems are One UI and LG's software, whatever that's called. LG makes terrible phones. Not terrible phones, but they make pretty bad phones, I gotta say. I do like stock Android, just normal stock Android, it seems like, what's that? Cubot and UmiDigi seem like they're making pretty good phones, so far. They seem like they're making okay phones. iPhone software, I'm okay with, but I wouldn't be switching to an iPhone anytime soon because not until maybe they get 120 hertz, but even then I might not even consider switching just because I like Oxygen OS so much, and a full screen display and all that stuff. It's just so good. And yeah, I mean, there's not much that I can. There are a couple more things that I could say about this phone. Durability wise, it's been fine, but to be honest, I'm just worried about this phone in like a year or so if I just keep using it. And yeah, and it's fine, but it's not great. It's not really for me. And I could totally get another phone if I really want to. I could get a Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, even though I'm probably never going to get that phone, actually, now that I think about it, just because it has an LCD screen. The phones that I'm probably not going to get ever are probably going to be Samsung phones because of One UI, LG phones because of their software, and because they don't have 120 hertz on any of their phones, or 90 hertz even. I'll probably never get phones with LCD screens unless I'm just testing them. I probably won't get phones that don't have that have a really weak processor. I probably won't get those kind of phones. Like anything under probably the Snapdragon 690, I probably won't get. Maybe I'll get the Snapdragon 690 sometime, but to be honest, the Snapdragon 855 is such a good processor, and even on the Galaxy Fold, even though I'm not a big fan of the Galaxy Fold, still has really good performance, and it has 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's another thing. It has a lot of storage, but I don't really need the storage. That's another thing. I don't need the storage. I was fine with 256 gigabytes. I basically had about half of my storage full. Like I was using about 128 gigabytes of storage on my OnePlus 7 Pro, or maybe a little bit over that. But with my Galaxy Fold, yeah, I really don't need 512 gigabytes of storage. So, to be honest, I think I may stick with my iPad if I really want to use it. I mean, I'm probably not going to use it that much, but I'll still use it occasionally. I'm going to definitely use it during car trips and stuff like that. I do really like the iPad Air, too, still. It's good. I'll switch to like another iPad at some point. I probably won't get a Samsung. I will never get a Samsung tablet. If OnePlus makes a tablet, hey, I'm definitely getting that. OnePlus, please make a tablet. Like, listen, if you make a tablet, you may be able to defeat Apple. I don't know. It would be actually pretty good because it would go well with with the software together, like messages and stuff like that. Or I was thinking maybe I'm either right now thinking to switch to just stick to OnePlus. I could stick to OnePlus, and I'm obviously going to forget Samsung, but I could stick to OnePlus, or I can move to Xiaomi. I could maybe stick to OnePlus, get a tablet, maybe they'll make a laptop, maybe they'll make a watch even. I'll be able to sell all my Apple Watches because they're completely useless right now. And then I'll be able to maybe get a OnePlus watch, and I might be able to get a OnePlus tablet. And that would be awesome because I would use that OnePlus tablet so much. It would be awesome to get a OnePlus tablet. I would trade in my iPad Air 2, or maybe sell my iPad Air 2, or maybe I would just save up. I don't know. Or I could switch to Xiaomi. I could switch to Xiaomi. I could, just switch to Xiaomi, get a Mi Pad 4, which seems pretty good right now. I mean, Snapdragon 660 is good for a tablet, obviously. For a phone, not that good, but for a tablet, completely fine. 4 gigabytes of RAM, like I think 64, 128 gigabytes of storage. Pretty good screen. It seems like a pretty good tablet. Better than my iPad Air 2 by a little bit. Has pretty good software. So, may consider switching to that. So, either I'm thinking OnePlus or Xiaomi. Right now, I'm thinking to either stick with my OnePlus 7 Pro, maybe until the Christmas time or something like that. And then I'll switch to maybe the OnePlus 7T Pro, or maybe the OnePlus 8 or 8T or 8 Pro. I probably wouldn't switch to. I may even switch to the OnePlus Nord, but I probably won't just because it's a huge hole punch notch, so I don't really like that. I'm okay, I guess, with any kind of I'm really fine with any kind of pop-up camera, so I was considering maybe the Redmi K30 Ultra. That was kind of a consideration, but in terms of the OnePlus side, I was considering the OnePlus 7T Pro 5G McLaren Edition or something else, not sure. So, yeah. Maybe the OnePlus 8, that could be a consideration. It's worth actually the same as the OnePlus 7 Pro, even though I probably won't do it, just because the field of view and the aperture isn't as wide. And there's no telephoto camera. So, I think for now, I'm good with my OnePlus 7 Pro. I mean, it's a really good phone. I may consider, it seems like the OnePlus 9 Pro or the OnePlus 9 may seem okay, except it still has a punch hole notch. So maybe at some point I may switch to something like the Redmi K30 Ultra or something like that. But I think for now, I'm actually good with my OnePlus 7 Pro. Anyways, guys, I know I've been making a ton of videos about the Core phone recently and all that stuff. And tomorrow is actually going to be day 3 of the Core phone launch event. So make sure to watch that. But basically, I think I'm done with this phone. Basically, completely. I don't know. I liked it for the first couple of days. Then I decided to switch. Alright, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.